Season 6. Today's episode, number 21, Every Little Thing She Does. Well, welcome to the Moonshadow Mystery Channel. I am your host, Moonshadow Mystery. And a spoiler warning for those who have not seen today's episode, either because they don't have Discovery Family, or they just happen to miss it, as many of us end up doing because our lives are very busy, and that's typical. So, let's get to my first impressions of the episode. As maybe you saw, the episode starts off with Twilight Sparkle giving magic lessons to Starlight Glimmer. Now, what can I say about the pony who's actually had the longest length redemption arc of any former villain we've seen, and that includes Sunset Shimmer. Nothing against Sunset Shimmer. Nothing at all. I actually would love if Equestria Girls had been turned into a series so we could have seen that over a period of episodes as opposed to a period of movies. But Starlight Glimmer, the pony, the quintessential pony, who seems to pwn the Princess of Magic herself. Now, what can we say about a pony whose special ability is magic and is an alicorn princess, but is getting pwned by a unicorn? I'd say it's time for Twilight Sparkle to start going back to Sakura and doing her magic lessons. Well, as the episode progresses, we get yet another period of where we see the main character leave to do something off-screen with either one of the other princesses or out of Equestria, and yet, once again, we're probably not going to see it. That has seemed to be a recurring theme with this part of Season 6. We've had revisits to Griffinstone, we've had visits to Yagistan, and yet we have not seen any of that, which is really a shame because I was looking forward to some world building with Season 6's second half after the Kitty map was restored. Mind, we did get Viva Las Vegas last week, and that was great, but speaking personally, I'd like to see more of Twilight getting to be the Princess of Friendship. Moving on, as Twilight and Spike are in Canterlot visiting Princess Celestia and giving a lecture on magical artifacts to some more of Princess Celestia's School for Gifted Unicorns classes, we have Starlight Glimmer, who has been neglecting her friendship lessons. Oh my. Well, I can't really say I blame her. I mean, she has not exactly been doing very good with, just diving headfirst in and doing well with friendship. And I can relate with that. A lot better than I would like to admit, but I can relate with it. But I will give her kudos early on for at least attempting to try and make sense of the chaos. And that's where my it's both a complaint and not a complaint. She reverts back to her standard of relying on magic to do things. And I'm not completely complaining about it because that is part of Starlight's character. And without that one little flaw, she would just be another easily redeemed character who's joined the main cast. But I do like that they keep bringing this back up with her. She is so comfortable with magic and uncomfortable with interactions with other ponies that it has just essentially crippled her social capabilities. She has massive social anxiety, and she feels a deep, deep sense of strain and stress whenever she has to do anything related socially. And unfortunately, because she is still, again, in her redemption arc, she feels the pressure. She feels it worse than most NFL players at the Super Bowl. I mean, it's that bad. I honestly think that after some of the demonstrations of magic we've seen at the start of this episode, she actually probably would feel better at Equestria's equivalent to the Super Bowl. But we see her combine a series of spells, which is something I actually find interesting. I mean, how many instances have we seen spell combinations before? Not that many. Not even from the Princess of Friendship, the Bearer of Magic herself, Twilight Sparkle. And that's something against Twilight. I love Twilight, but let's be honest, she needs to up her game. And naturally, that kind of falls into a pattern that we see coming from a mile away. Naturally, magic is not the end-all solution that anyone ever thinks it is, and things always get way worse before they get better. Mine, Applejack, didn't really suffer from it as much as everyone else. I mean, Pinkie Pie got the brunt of it for the most part. Fluttershy got it second worst, then Rarity. Rainbow Dash and Applejack, in comparison, kind of got off easy. But lo and behold, the whole having to tell every pony every little detail of what they have to do ends in complete and utter chaos. So much so that I'm actually surprised Discord didn't make an appearance. I mean, how phenomenal would it have been if Discord, the master of chaos, had been in the midst of it all? I'm sure he would have been sitting back, eating popcorn, or perhaps harassing Angel Bunny. Yes, Silverquill, you hilarious hippogriff, I am making references toward you and toward your most hated enemy. But we'll tackle that when I'm able to get better videos done. But we do see that things just get worse and worse. And ultimately, what happens? Mother comes home early. Or rather, Twilight does. And she sees the horror that is in store. Fluttershy has freaked out every animal that she brought with her, including the grizzly bear. Which, let's be honest, that bear is not as intimidating as he initially was when we first met him a few seasons ago. Compared to Fluttershy, he's a bit of a pussycat. Compared to Angel Bunny, he's a bit of a pussycat. Matter of fact, other than his initial introduction, the scariest we've seen him was during Scaremaster. But that's a review for another day. Rarity is, unfortunately, being nerfed pretty bad with her creative ability. I mean, I realize she's being told under the influence of magic and having to be told what to do, but at the same time, you'd figure she would retain some sense of her style and creativity. But oh, poor Pinkie Pie. Poor Pinkie Pie. All those cakes. Oh, the delicious cakes. The tasty moistness of them all. Ruined. And that's really too bad. Unfortunately, I got my sweet tooth acting up, and I have not, as of yet, found anything to satisfy it. That is not even a joke. Just all those sweets piled up just really got me hankering for something, and I've not found anything. Anyway, Twilight comes back. We see all the ponies shuffled off with the mess left behind from the water damage and the spiders, which apparently the castle has been infested with for some time. And I really feel bad for Spike for this one. I too have severe arachnophobia, and I often am in that same situation. I have actually had to get up as I'm going to sleep because I happen to notice out of the corner of my eye in the darkness of my room a spider making a web, and well, that's everyone's got a phobia. Spike just happens to share mine. And naturally, as it's being hammered home over and over again from the very beginning, Starlight has completely missed the point. She views every friendship lesson as if it's a chore. She doesn't stop and think about the fact that what she's being assigned to do has something to do with the pony she's interacting with. Even though we have seen her interact with these ponies before, when she became friends with Trixie. Which confuses me a little bit because she understands these ponies slightly, but at the same time not enough. But as the cleanup ensues, before the cleanup ensues, we see Starlight making a sincere and heartfelt apology to what appear to be a bunch of magically hung-over ponies. An apology so fantastic, as a matter of fact, that even Rainbow Dash has to comment on how amazing it is. And if the 20% cooler pony is saying that it's amazing, then you better believe it's amazing. Starlight accepts that it's going to take time to win back their trust and proceeds to do the cleanup herself. The ponies feel so bad for her that they follow suit and help. And in the midst of it all, Starlight ends up succeeding in her magic lessons unintentionally, which I find to be a good way to go with it, but at the same time, I couldn't help but think the whole way I was viewing this as Starlight Glimmer's Lesson 0 moment. I'm not sure if anyone else felt that way. I'm fairly certain Silverquill, if he's gotten to see this episode, if he's not too busy with whatever he's doing, is probably thinking the same thing, and more than likely, when he gets around to reviewing it, he'll make that comment. I'd probably be surprised if he doesn't. But anyway, it wraps up in a nice little bow with every pony joining in the final friendship lesson of chillaxing with Rainbow Dash. Something that Rainbow Dash takes surprisingly seriously, to the point that she even straight up tells Twilight that the lesson's not over until she says so. She takes her relaxation way too serious. But she is hyper-competitive, so I suppose it makes sense. Anyway, that is my first impressions on every little thing she does. Not a bad episode, not a over-the-top great episode. Somewhere in the middle. It's not a bad slice of life, and it's definitely done some good work for fleshing out a little bit more Starlight's flaws in her character. But what do you think? Comment if you agree with me. That's great. If you don't, please comment down below what you think. Feel free to hit the like button if you enjoyed this little live action first thoughts. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. You are entitled to your opinions, and I welcome them. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. I look forward to getting more videos done as we get new episodes and as I get a better hang on how I'm doing my content. And as always, every pony, don't go changing for anybody but yourselves. I hope to see you all next week. And for those of you heading to the conventions over the next month or so, I hope you have fun, and I look forward to seeing all kinds of videos and hearing all kinds of talks about how things went. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekends. See you soon.